Yeah. Let's see if we can clean this off because, hang on, y'all. That's a little better. Oh, yeah, that's much better. Much better. Whew. So I'm going to give this just a few more minutes and we're going to get started. Janice Maxwell, getting in the mood. It's Sybarite Sunday, y'all. And I am glad to be here. I'm glad you guys are here. We'll give people just a few more minutes to come on in the room. Come on in the room. We're getting ready to get cracking. Got some good stuff today. Really good stuff to talk about. Some good poems and erotic stories. And as usual, on Sundays, we're going to get a little nasty. And we're going to have a little sex talk. So come on in the room. Come on in the room and join us. I'm really super glad you're here. Once again, it is Sybarite Sunday. My name is Deborah Porter. I'm the face of my brand. Oh, you're right there. And I am an erotic author. I write erotic short stories as well as scripts for my live performances. And if we ever get out of COVID lockdown, we'll have some more performances. I kind of miss that. And I, to be honest, I really miss, well, let me check this mic. I really miss my cast more than anything because we have such good energy together. I really miss having them bring my words to life. So, God, I can't wait till we can come out of this COVID-19 stuff and go back to, interacting with each other and hanging out and having these live performances and all of that good stuff. So anyway, welcome to Sybarite Sunday. As I said, my name is Deborah Porter. I'm the face of my brand. Oh, you're right there. I'm so glad you guys joined me because we got some good, juicy stuff today to talk about. I hope you guys enjoyed, let's see, it was Thursday, I think. Thursday or Friday was National Orgasm Day. So I hope, July 31st, National Orgasm Day. So I hope you guys had a chance to enjoy National Orgasm Day and you had lots of orgasms. With this lockdown, folks, we are just really struggling with expressing our sexuality and really being able to be intimate and sexy and close and make love and, be sensual and do all that stuff because, as I continue to say, unless you have a live-in lover or you are married, you are kind of out of luck when it comes to that because right now we are still social distancing. You can believe that. So anyway, I, again, thank you for joining me today. I'm so glad you're here. I want to, today we're going to talk about, a man's cum, his semen. And I know it's kind of off the beaten track, but with National Orgasm Day just passing, I kind of wanted to go into a little bit of semenology, if you can believe that. In fact, there's a book. I will try and post it in the comments. There's a book, in the bio for Instagram and the comments on Facebook. There's a book called Semenology, and it's by a gentleman who did a whole cocktail book on how to make cocktails using semen. Now, if that's your thing, that's your thing. Good for you. I don't know if I want to drink no 2-day-old semen, or hell, I don't know if I want to just drink any fresh semen. It's one thing to be in the moment and swallow, but it's another to be trying to mix that into a drink. I don't know how that works. But anyway, I will post his book because he's a mixologist and he's combined semen with cocktails and all kinds of mixtures and stuff. So apparently it's pretty good. I don't know. But we're going to talk about semen today, y'all. We're going to talk about like spit or swallow. Which one are you? I don't know. Which one are you? Spit or swallow? For me, it depends on the man, whether or not I trust him and I know him really well, because that's not something I think you would do with just anybody. And I'm not saying that you're having sex with just anybody, but it is quite possible to have sex with people that you don't know very well. So at that point, if you're giving head, ladies, do you spit or swallow? That is the question today. Spit or swallow? So we're going to get into a little bit of that to find out kind of what's in it and what it looked like and all of that good stuff. Not that you haven't seen it, because I know I'm not talking to any virgins on this show. But so let's start off with some poems. How about that? I'm going to start with a short one. And this is by Just Plain Mary. Just Plain Mary. And she wrote a poem called Make Me Swallow. Make Me Swallow. She says, grab the back of my head and shove your dick in my mouth. I'm a naughty girl who deserves a good mouth fuck. Pump my hot, wet mouth until your veins are popping out. Slide it over my tongue and into the soft darkness. Your balls tighten and you hold my head still. You're cocked deep in my soft, slippery mouth. You push harder into my gag reflex and shoot. Shot after shot of hot cum creeping down my throat. Pump one last time. Emptying your balls into my hole. Take it out and tell me to lick it clean. So that was Make Me Swallow by Just Plain Mary. We love that, Just Plain Mary. That was more than just plain, boo. But it says a lot, because how often, ladies, have you had a guy hold the back of your head to kind of hold your head to the task when maybe you weren't quite ready for him to come? So we're going to talk about that in a few. But so anyway, that was Make Me Swallow by Just Plain Mary. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. So, all right. So we're going to talk about cum today. We're going to talk about semen. And I found some interesting things about it. First of all, when a woman says, "Oh, baby, I'm gonna suck your soul out your body," she's really talking about sucking you dry, number one, and really sucking you to the point of just that, what am I trying to say, that point of just kind of no return, where you feel like you've come so much and you can't come anymore. She sucked you dry and you're just like at the pinnacle of coming. And so that's kind of what that term means. And here's the thing, what I kind of learned as I was doing research on this is that the more a man comes, so the more he ejaculates and comes, the lesser amount of semen he produces each time. So if he doesn't have time to rest in between, be it hours or days or however long, then the amount of sperm decreases and decreases and decreases. So it's always, if you're trying to have sex to make a baby or whatever, you've got to have a rest period in there. Otherwise, you literally are sucking him dry because ain't nothing left. You done just sucked it all right out of him. So I thought that was pretty interesting. The other thing is semen contains so much stuff that we're not even aware of. Like, as I was reading through this list, I was like, oh, well, shit, I didn't know that was in there. So I'm just going to read you a couple of compounds and things that are found in semen. So just know when you even if you just put it in your mouth and go swallow, you are kind of ingesting some of this. So here are some of the really interesting things that are found in semen. So not only is it full of hormones and endorphins and things like that, but so it has fructose, ascorbic acid, zinc, if you can believe that, cholesterol, protein. It also has calcium, chlorine, citric acid. It obviously contains DNA, magnesium, vitamin D, B12, phosphorus, sodium, potassium, uric acid, lactic acid, nitrogen, and vitamin C. Isn't that interesting? I had no idea. So it's not going to hurt you, ladies. It's not going to kill you. You're not going to die if you decide you're going to swallow instead of spit. But it's interesting that you kind of know what's in there. Isn't that amazing? And I love the fact that it contains endorphins, which gives us pleasure and energy and all of that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. The other thing that they say, some of the benefits if you swallow semen, that it also contains these mood altering compounds, which I again found fascinating. Now, cortisol, estrogen, oxytocin, melatonin, and serotonin, get out of here. So who knew? So they say that scientists are finally saying that there really are healthy benefits to ingesting the intake of semen. Come on now, oxytocin, melatonin, and serotonin, I'm done. So all of those feel-good hormones are in his cum, and so if vaginally or orally, if you ingest it, it's supposed to have all these health benefits. Who knew? Now it goes back to what I said in the beginning about the gentleman that wrote the book about semenology. I don't know if I just want to be drinking it out the glass, with mixed with something else, but that's good to know if I decide I'm going to swallow instead of spit, that it's got all these health benefits in it. So I thought that was really, really interesting. And of course, it's got this kind of thickness and jelly-like consistency. And if you don't know, that's really to help stick to the cervix and facilitate procreation. So anyway, we'll come back to more of these details about what's in semen, but I want to go on and read some more poems. So let's see, there's a couple here I want to make sure we get to. These two, well, okay, I'm going to read this one. This is by Hot Vixen 069. Hot Vixen 069, and she wrote a poem called I Want Your Cum. So, I want your cum. She says, I am on knees, begging, pleading, tears rolling down my face, my mascara running black down my cheeks. I need to suck you, lick you, swallow you, to feel you fill my throat, to have you feed my addiction to your cum. I crave the taste, the texture, the saltiness. The most perfect oyster will never compare to your exquisiteness. Please, I cry, grab my hair and plunge yourself into me over and over again. I must have you on my taste buds. I must feel the spurt over the back of my tongue and down my throat constricting around you, milking you, greedily gulping and swallowing you. Plunge deep, my love, make me gag, cut off my air supply. I raise my dark eyes to yours so you can see them as the life slowly drains from them. I want to drown in you, for you to be drowned by you. What a way to die. What a way to go. I wonder, what will they write on my death certificate? Perhaps death by cum? I like that. Now I'm trying, I don't want you choking me out or gagging me to the point where I lose consciousness and fall out and die. But I liked her. I liked her perspective on that. That was called "I Want Your Cum," written by Hot Fixing 069. Now, you know what? She says something interesting here, and we're gonna kind of get into this here a little bit. Let's see. She talked about, my throat constricting around you. And she says, milking and gulping and swallowing you. and what was it that caught my eye? And she said, because, um, oh gosh, I lost it here, but she was talking about swallowing him and oh, I know. She said to fill my throat. Now, one of the things that guys, I think, kind of pride themselves on is being able to, because you see this in porn quite a bit. So she's hasn't swallowed yet, but her mouth is full of cum, right? And so her cheeks are puffed out, and the cum is running down her cheeks and onto her breasts, and I think that's supposed to signify that the guy is virile, or he's has a lot of sexual prowess or whatever. But my thing is this: once I started kind of researching this, there really is not all that much cum. Now, let me just tell you from experience that when it's in your mouth, it feels like it's a cup full of salty dishwater. But what they're saying is that the average amount of cum is like a teaspoon, which I just find fascinating because I'm like, who are they measuring? Because I don't know if I've ever felt like it was just a teaspoon. And it maybe it could have been me just trying to get it down, right? That it just seemed like my mouth was just full. But then you always see that depicted on porn, where her cheeks are just puffed out like a chipmunk, and the cum is just running all down her face. But according to medical science, it's really not that much. It's only about a teaspoonful the average man comes. Now, let me show you. I brought my little props today. So let me show you. This is about a teaspoon. This is a little shot glass. So as you can see, that is not a whole lot. It's really not. Let me see if I can turn it to the side. Again, this is just a shot glass, but that's not really a lot of cum. And if that's the average ejaculation of the average man, that's not a whole lot. And when you put this in your mouth, it's like nothing. But I think part of it is for women. Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody said, let me see that again. That's about that's about a teaspoonful. So, and that's really about all. And sometimes it's even less, according to the research that I found, that it's even less than that. So why does it feel like it's just filling up my mouth? I don't know if I can even explain that, because I think part of it is just the taste and the texture. So in fact, let's go over here for a little quick moment and talk about, we talked about what it's made of, but then there's the taste, the texture, and the smell. And all three of those are affected by a man's hygiene, obviously. But it's also affected by his diet, whatever he's eating or drinking. So if he is eating or drinking a lot of unhealthy stuff, or a lot of funky stuff like asparagus and shit like that, then that shit's gonna taste really, really bad. In fact, somebody said in one of the researches I was looking at that it tasted like bleach and other household cleaners. So I just find that fascinating. And I think that is why a lot of women are so adverse to swallowing. They'd rather spit. But again, as I said, for me, it just depends on the man. I'm not doing that with everybody, and we got to have that tight relationship. And I know what you're eating because I'm cooking for you, maybe. So, but yeah, and so, bruh, you don't want to be smelling like or tasting like bleach or some other household cleaner. If you are a man that consistently wants head, then you better have a a good diet, because all of those things affect how your shit tastes to us. And if I have too many episodes where that shit is nasty in my mouth and smelling like bleach and cleaners and all that stuff, then I may not be so quick to not only not give you head, but I damn sure ain't swallowing. That's a spit. Like I got to get that out of my mouth. But I wanted to kind of go over, as I said, a lot of that is hygiene. A lot of that is the diet of why that shit smells like it does or tastes like it does. But according to this research, because it's slightly alkaline, it's supposed to have a neutral taste. Now, I know a lot of women will say, oh, girl, it was sweet like sugar. Bullshit. And if there's a woman out there that says it's sweet like sugar, please let me know because we want to know what your man is eating so we can pass the word. Because it's rarely been sweet. Usually it's salty. Once in a while, it might be bitter, definitely thick. So if you've ever tried to get some cough syrup or something down, that's what it's like, gentlemen, trying to swallow cum. But there are some things that you can eat that are that would lend itself to having your semen be more tasty and less acid. So apparently celery, parsley, wheatgrass, cinnamon, nutmeg, pineapple, which we've all heard of, papaya, oranges. So all of those fruits and vegetables will help your semen with the flavor and the smell. So please, if you're looking for us to swallow, you have to do your part and eat foods that are good for you and that are going to enhance the flavor of your cum, because otherwise it's not a good experience. I'm just telling you, it's not a good experience. Now, a lot of us do it and want to throw up in the bathroom afterwards, but we do it. But you don't want it to be that kind of experience where I'm holding my nose and trying to get it down and, or worse yet, I'm looking for some place to spit it out. That's even worse. You're talking about ruining the mood. So do your part, fellas. Do your part and eat things that are healthy and sweet and that are going to improve the flavor. The other thing that can cause more bitterness are foods like garlic, onions, broccoli, cabbage, leafy greens, asparagus, which we talked about, meat and dairy products. So maybe lay off some of the meat. And believe it or not, and I don't know how this fits into it, I didn't dig deeper, but it says cigarettes and coffee. So if he's a smoker, maybe his shit stinks because of that. I thought that was kind of interesting. And that also will, as I said, lend itself to that musty, fishy smell or where it's just not pleasurable. It's just not pleasurable. So let's read another poem and then we'll come back to that. I want to read, this is more of a short story and it's a little long. So cross your legs, take a deep breath on this one because it's just a tad bit longer, but I do want to read it. This is by Eructus123. Eructus123. It's called Come, Come in My Mouth. He said, let me fuck you, but I wasn't ready. Let's do something else, my dearest Freddie. Let me offer my mouth. And I unzipped his fly, unbuckled his pants, and his rose-hip dick did I spy. With a jerk and a yank, his dick rose to attention. Like a bridge in the wind, it hung in suspension. I yearned to experience his novel invention. As I entered my lips, I held it first in detention. I had to lick it a bit so it would fit nicely in, as it was quite thick to stuff into my bin. I sucked for a long time on his thick lung. He was a lumberjack. Oh, beautifully hung. I found gratification with every suck tall. I was able to tongue his head and then his balls. It was hard and warm, felt really nice. As I continued to mouth it, it took on a life. It swelled a bit more, and I took care with my teeth not to scratch it nor bite it, yet give it relief. You might say I gave it the old in and out. After a few minutes, he started to shout, yes, that's it, baby. You sucked some more of my dick. And my cock, oh yes, you must love it. I won't pull it out till I'm ready to come, and then you must swallow every ounce of my spunk for you to wallow. I nodded and lifted my eyes in assent. Words at that moment were impossible to vent, for his cock filled my mouth and my throat like a big bridge that hung over a moat. I reached out and started to squeeze his hairy balls and felt his dick tremor. It vibrated and all. And then he let out a word I don't wish to repeat. And he shoved his cock further in as he stood on his feet. And with his big hand, he grabbed my hand by my blonde hair, and he pumped like a fireman straining for air. Yes, he cried as he stomped in mid-flight. And his cock filled my mouth really, really tight. I started to choke and prepared to spit. And when he thrust forward again, it happened so quick. And once more he shot as his dick was a gun, and it down in my gullet it went. Ooh, it was too late to run. What I did not swallow ran down my lips and dripped out and fell on one of my tits. I choked as I sought air just to breathe as he knelt there before on bended knee. Ah, girl, you are a dick sucking renowned. In fact, you're the best I've ever found. And I'll tell all the pub boys of your great feat. There'll be many more cocks for you to beat. And the truth be told, I really enjoyed each lick of every man's swollen dick. I got used to the taste and perfected my grip. And on every man's balls to make 'em come quick. By the time I had sucked every dick in the county, I was famous as Sergeant Preston the Mountie. I never had to offer my quim when I blow. Just suck 'em, not fuck 'em. That was my motto. I'd say I'm the only virgin in town, and I'll be looking for a man to be found who doesn't think cocksucking is my only game and could care less about my name and fame. So whip it out. That's all. No need for a hanky at all. I'll swallow every drop as I tug on your balls. Then pass me the next fellow in line, and each of the guys will be feeling just fine. My mouth to another, I'm saving my ass, and my pussy for another who I'll make my lover. But as they say, habits are hard to break. So no doubt I'll continue sucking tube steak. In the time my husband has gone off to work, chances are there'll be stiff dicks to jerk. And they'll say cum is good for a rosy complexion. So there's little chance I'll be giving up on any of my addictions. Well, okay then. Erectus 123, she says, come in my mouth. She sounds like she's sucking off the whole little town. But good for you, sis. Whatever gets you off. I ain't mad at you at all. Do you? So, okay, so let's get back to talking about this cum. One of the things she said, and we just talked about this, about the cum running down your mouth, and I've already showed you what a teaspoon of cum looks like, and it is just not a lot. So I don't know where that's coming from. As I said, I think that is porn driven, where that's what we see in porn, and so we assume that's what happens in real life. But I don't think I've ever had it run down my face and onto my breasts or whatever. The other thing is they talk about it being good for your complexion and your hair. Well, that actually is very true. So now, according to the research, because it's made up of so many good things, it says that semen really is good for your hair. Can you believe that? Good for your hair and your complexion. And it's all of the components that we talked about earlier, the cortisol, oxytocin, serotonin, melatonin, all of those things. I've heard women using cum for mask. I've heard them use it in washing their hair. In fact, there's some really funny memes out about, sisters, if you want to bring back your edges, get you some cum. But whatever man started that shit ain't right. That's all I got to say. So it's apparently has all these good qualities if you want to mix it up and use it however you want to use it. The other thing we need to talk about is, and I know this is porn driven, where a man comes in your face. So he pulls out right before he comes, and rather than coming in your mouth, he comes in your face. Now, Here's my thing with this. First of all, dude, you need to warn me before you do that. That is not something you just pull out and just do. Does it happen sometimes? Yes, but I'm telling you, if that shit happens too many times without warning, once again, you ain't getting no head because you can't be trusted. Why? Because I need to be prepared. I need to close my eyes. Here's what you may not know, guys, and I found the research to back this up. Semen in your eyes burns like hell. You can have a burning, stinging redness for hours afterwards. Hours. Okay. So don't be spraying that shit in my face without warning. I can't close my eyes. What are you doing? Yeah, it burns like hell. And I have heard horror stories where women have had to go to the doctor and explain why their eyes are burning and swell up and red and have to get drops. So if you don't want your name all over my doctor's office, dude, please stop that. Don't do that. Let me know. Warn me. Give me a heads up. Literally a heads up. So, and the reason for that is because 60 to 75% of semen contains citric acids, enzymes, enzyme acids, what else? The chlorine, zinc, sodium, lactic acid, uric acid, potassium, magnesium, nitrate. So that shit cannot go in my eyes. Hello? Especially, as I said, if you haven't given me any warning, you have got to give me a heads up. Do not just spray that shit because I'm not going to be blind messing around with you. So, but anyway, it's just good courtesy. You know, if you want to be a good lover, it's good courtesy. You just don't come in a woman's face. And like I said, it really will cause your eyes to turn red. They might swell up and they're damn sure going to burn like hell. The other thing I just learned from someone that does eyelashes is that if you do eyelash extensions and homeboy comes in your face, girl, that will take out your extensions. It will take out the glue and the adhesive that's keeping your eyelashes glued. So don't do that. Please don't. Just don't do it. Please don't do it. So yeah, just common courtesy. The other thing I found interesting, particularly for women my age, 50 and over, is that if you're dealing with a man your age, the ejaculation quantity reduces with age. So his orgasms, as well as yours, because women too, may not be as powerful, may not be as strong, and therefore he may not ejaculate that much semen. So that's kind of good to know. And again, you've got to have that recovery time, because if you are having sex back to back or without any recovery period, there's going to be less and less and less ejaculation. So keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm going to read. I think I have time for one more. Let me see. Yeah, okay, so let me see if I can do this one, because this one is kind of long as well. But I think I can get through it. All right, so this is called Swallow or Spit by Poetic Desire. It's called Swallow or Spit by Poetic Desire. Picky I am when it comes to my brew, because not just any old liquid will do. Swirling around in my mouth to savor the taste, and let not a single drop go to waste. I have an insatiable urge to swallow words, to comprehend and truly digest verbs. I yearn to learn things unknown. That's my spot, my pleasure zone. Climactic words that fur my brow and leave me in awe, amazed, saying, wow. Syllables of sustenance that fascinate. Sentence so soulful felt that my spirit almost levitates, escapes, ascends, distance, time, and space. It's like Calgon taking me away to a euphoric place. And he does that to me so adamantly. My taste buds go haywire. Ooh, I get dizzy. As refreshing as a York peppermint patty, elevating, cool, crisp, sweet, fire, minty. His diction is a delectable treat. Fiery ink, dripping, spicy, sweet heat, succulent, saturating. tasty, nutritious. Every drop he leaks is magically delicious. And I got the munchies for his sweet taste, an unquenchable thirst only his ink can state. He metaphorically, mouth-watering, I salivate, lick my lips, await, craving what he creates. Then I sip slowly to savor instead of gulp, struggling, fighting the urge to guzzle, the hydrating knowledge of each verse. And for that brief moment, I leave this universe. And in all, the internal is conversed. And in sweet rapture, we both are immersed until my thirsty tongue can no longer wait. And I begin licking his lyrics with haste and reciting his words at a frantic pace. I swallow hard, then lick it off with a satisfying grin. More than just a mere desire for ink, it's a psychological need to drink. But sometimes, I must admit, I also have the overwhelming desire to spit. Isn't that cute? I love that. And I love the way she used the metaphors to compare swallowing or spitting with writing poetry and words and all that. That was hot. I loved it, loved it, loved it. So anyway, just to kind of sum up today about using or understanding semen, understanding sucking him dry, what all that means, what you can and cannot do. Gentlemen, I would say that, and I say this sometimes, that if a woman is giving head, if she's not gagging, she's not doing it right. But it's always good to give a little heads up when you're getting ready to come. Please, before you come in my face. And if nothing else, if you take nothing else away from today, guys, take this away. You have to eat clean. You have to eat clean. You can't eat all that shit and then expect your cum to smell good, taste good, and the texture be good. Because I'm telling you, when I got to that part about it smells like bleach and house cleaner, that is not what we want in our mouths as women. We just don't. So do your part if you want head. Hello? It's very simple. Do your part. So anyway, that is kind of what I wanted to do today, and just read some poetry and kind of talk about that. I also want to say that this is a shameless plug and commercial, that I am involved with the Noir Culinary Experience. So please go find them on Facebook under Noir, Noir Culinary Experience, and definitely on IG. Find the group, like the page. They're going to be doing some incredible events around food. And I believe that I'm going to participate when we do something about aphrodisiacs, foods that incite us, foods that are sexually conducive to good lovemaking. So I'm so excited to be a part of that. So get on the blacklist, get blacklisted, come to the event, and it's going to be good. They'll be doing social distancing, so you don't have to worry about that. We'll be wearing masks. But as I said, it's hard to be intimate and social and sensual and sexual when we're still on lockdown. It's just difficult. So this is an opportunity to do all that. As I said, I'm going to really bring in some things to do with aphrodisiac foods and the whole sexual experience. So ta-da! So anyway, listen, I so appreciate you joining me today, especially talking about something as important as semen. Now you kind of understand your man's cum and know a little bit about how his body functions. Guys, you now have homework to do if you want to continue to get good head. So again, thank you. And I will see you next week for Sybarite Sunday Live, and we'll talk about some other sexy little topic, right? So if we have offended, please say so, and all is mended. For these sweet and naughty things make for the best wet dreams. So grab your lover, but stay in your place. Stay home and practice your I'm about to come face. Thank you again. I love you, and I'll see you next week.